Hello and welcome to this new Darts World podcast. I am J Urmston Toft, I'm going to be your host, and over this episode we will be looking at the PDC European Tour news, the WDF Euro Cup news, and we'll also have an insight of what goes on backstage at the MODUS Super Series. We'll have that plus a lot more on your Darts World podcast, but let's go straight into the news.
PDC News.
So the PDC held its 12 of 13 European Tour events with the Swiss Darts Trophy in Basel, and the winner was Martin Schindler, who lifts the title in an epic final where Ryan Searle had it won in all sense of purposes, and in his interview afterwards said he bottled it and Martin coming out the victor. But I've got to say there were some notable performances as well by the likes of Cameron Menzies and Callum Ridds, who got all the way to the semi-final of that event, and Wessel Nijmer, who got beat by James Wade in the third round. But there was some really good performances. Luke Littler, who had a really good game against Luke Humphries, but Humphries getting beat by Josh Rock again. This European Tour is turning out to be, as Dan Darts-Dawson says, the best tour in the planet. And in all sense of purposes, in my opinion, I think it is. Week in, week out, you see some tremendous starts, you see different winners, and you also see some big names going out early. But as we said, congratulations once again to Martin Schindler, which moves us on to the World Grand Prix. And it is the tournament where it is double in, double out. The seeds are all confirmed, the contestants are all confirmed, and that starts on Monday the 7th. And it's at this point where we want to introduce our newest correspondent here on the Darts World Weekly podcast. He is one of the old guard, he is a bit set in his ways, but he's got a unique insight into the world of darts. But it is my pleasure to introduce you to Darts World's newest correspondent, Arthur Shilling. Oh, now then, I'm Arthur Shilling, and they brought me on to this video score thing to talk about the most wonderful time of the year. Most wonderful time of the year. It's getting cold. Everyone's putting central heating on, whatever that is. I'm putting coal back in fire. And it's getting dark. It's getting dark. No, I'm not talking about your pumpkin spice lattes. None of that nonsense here. This is talking about Dartsmas. Yes, you've heard it. It is the start of Dartsmas here. And what starts Dartsmas? Well, it's only one of the best tournaments in calendar. It is the Grand Prix, the World Grand Prix. And where did this unique format come in? This double in, double out tournament. This double in, double out tournament. Well, it started in 1998. And where did it start? Where did they hold the tournament? This double in, double out format. This double in, double out format. No, you're wrong, you see. You thought it was Dublin. But no, it was the casino rooms in Kent. There you go. You didn't know that, did you? Did you? No, you didn't. Anyway, winner of that tournament, Philip Taylor. He went on to win a few of these. He won 11, in fact. But do you know how much he won for the first one? Do you know how much the champion got for winning title on TV? 9 grand. 9 grand. Can't even get a motorhome with that nowadays. But do you know what the latest winner's got? A certain world number one Luke Humphries. Do you know what he won for that? 120 grand. 120. Oh, you could get some motorhome with that, I tell you. Oh, I'm just thinking about it now. Anyway, it's been a lot of history made in this tournament. Philip Taylor, even though he's won 11 of these titles, he didn't have his fair. He had his fair share of first round upsets as well. Andy Calaby, Adrian Gray, done. Forget it. Didn't win them years. But this tournament has caused some major upsets because of the short format, you see. But it's caused some spectacular moments. And what better moment than from the history maker? I find it a bit ironic that the history maker made history in this tournament. And what did he do, Mr. Brendan Dolan? I tell you what he did. He's the first player to hit a 9-darter with this double in, double out format. 160, 180, and then treble 20, treble 17, and a big bully ball to get it. And who did he get it against? The player with the most 9-darters done against him, James Wade. And do you know what happened? He then hit one, and then he got another one hit on him with Robert Thornton in the same match. Unbelievable. Oh. Anyway, that's a World Grand Prix. I'm NAPA Shilling. Sort of.
MODUS Super Series.
Here at Darts World, we try and cover as much as possible on the darting landscape. You know, I've obviously got the PDC, you've got the WDF, and you've got the ADC, the ADL. But one of the more popular formats of the game in recent memory is the introduction of the MODUS Super Series. Now, back in the day during COVID, this was at home. Players played in their houses. It was all COVID, it was all locked up, and they made the best of what they had. And then they moved down to a fully playable area in Southampton, and then it's progressed to where they are now in Portsmouth. And I had an opportunity of going down to Portsmouth to see what the goings on, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. But before all that, let's have a look at the format of the MODUS Super Series.
Introducing the MODUS Super Series, an exciting new weekly darts competition featuring top international players competing for more than £1 million in prize money. There is a new MODUS Super Series champion every 13 game weeks. The winner of MODUS Super Series 1 will be crowned on Saturday the 22nd of October 2022. So how does it work? 12 players compete every game week with live footage of every match broadcast 6 days per week on Sporty Stuff TV. Group matches take place Monday to Friday in morning and evening slots as players compete in a series of eliminators. The 6 qualifying players contest the finals every Saturday evening. Round-robin group matches are followed by semi-finals and the final, producing a new winner each week. Every 13th week, the winners from the previous 12 weeks contest the MODUS Super Series Champions Week. The winner takes home the MODUS Super Series title and earns a place on the honours board. After Champions Week, the action starts again for week 1 of the next series.
So there you go, 13 weeks of action, culminating in one champion, and then at the end of it you do have Champions Week as well, which is a great tussle of tungsten. And one of the names that have really come out of the MODUS Super Series and became an icon of darts is Luke Littler. He has been well known in the Northwest and in the youth development systems as well, but he really came to the front at the MODUS Super Series, winning 2 series in a row, nearly making it 3, which was unbelievable, and then progressing famously, getting to the world final against Luke Humphries, then winning the Premier League, and so on and so on and so on. We all know the Luke Littler story. But here are some highlights of where that really began. So there's Luke Littler showing why he is so good, and this is the MODUS Super Series is where he really came out to play. From there, he's become a juggernaut in darts. So I had a unique opportunity to go down to the MODUS Super Series in Portsmouth and got to speak to some of the people backstage and got to get a vibe for the environment and the playing arena and some of the other areas as well. And I got to speak to some of the famous faces that you see week in, week out, and some you may not. But here is part one of a two-parter here at the MODUS Super Series.
So I'm here with Chris, whose voice you'll recognise not only on the PDC streams and PDC tournaments, but obviously here at the MODUS Super Series. And you've been with MODUS for quite a while now.
Yeah, I mean, the first time that I worked for MODUS was back in 2011, 2012. I was doing some sort of match reports, things like that, and I was sort of actually still in university, and then went on to become their press officer. Things changed pretty quickly because 2014 Michael Van Gerwen becomes world champion, so suddenly I'm the press officer of the world champion. And I always wanted to be a commentator. So 2016, when the PDC started streaming the floor events, that's when I sort of crossed that divide and went to the other side of media and became a commentator, which I've continued to do for the last 8 or 9 years. And obviously it just kind of came full circle with the invention of the MODUS Super Series.
Yes, it started off as the live lounge or the live leagues, and then it's progressed and progressed. And you've seen famous names, legends of the game, and then people on the rise. Obviously, Luke Littler is probably the biggest name that's come from this stage. But what other moments have you seen that you've gone, these are real mark-out moments for MODUS and MODUS Super Series?
Yeah, as you said, Littler's the biggest, particularly because of what's happened since, but also the second time you win it, I think everyone had a real feeling of what could happen because it was so special and is so special. But moments like Bo Greaves winning a week, that was, here his mate's son, she was the first woman to win a week here. Fallon Sherritt, not just the first woman to get a 9-darter here, but the first one to do it on TV, and that happened on this stage as well. So again, a huge moment. We've got international news. We've had some other strange moments where Darren Webster and Ron Mullin can't make from the front page for the wrong reasons, things like that. But genuinely, there are, I think the most satisfying ones are when you see players that maybe aren't of the profile of Fallon Sherritt, Bo Greaves, or Luke Littler, and go and achieve great things. So Marvin Van Velzen, our previous series winner, he came here the first time, didn't really do that well, went away, qualified again for the ADC system, which is giving any player an opportunity to play on the Super Series day from the TV cameras, and then went and won the full series, which is a remarkable achievement, but emotionally, it was a great night to be part of.
And you could say this is the most unique way of storytelling in darts. I mean, each week you have different players coming in, and each series coming in. And this week got Carl Sneed, who's a Northwest player, who's gone on to win Dream Pay. Now, in previous weeks he's come close, but you can see that where he started from to where he's developed, and you can see that story being told time and time again with these players.
Absolutely, and there's no better school. They come here, they learn, they go away, they put it into practice and come back, and a lot of the time improve, like Van Velzen, like Sneed himself. So I think that pathway with the ADC has been really important as well, the opportunity for any dart player to qualify to go to Super Series there. I think it's vitally important and something that we want to keep hold of.
On behalf of all dart players who you gave a massive opportunity to, thank you very much.
Welcome.
So I'm here with one of the backstage people, but you may know as a player as well, Jared Cole.
Hello.
So we've known each other on and off.
Yes.
Passing each other in various tournaments, and but you work as well, not just as a darts player, but backstage.
Yeah, I now work at the MODUS Super Series. I'm working as part of the backstage crew. I'm either on socials or a spotter. So, yeah.
And how do you find there's a difference, obviously, as putting your playing hat on and then putting your work hat on?
So I try to keep it as different as possible. So I try to separate wherever possible. Obviously, I'm at the building where I play as a worker now. It's a bit of a strange one, but it's got some taking some getting used to. But from my perspective, I'm just really happy to have the opportunity to work in darts. So yeah, it's a bit of an eye opener.
And your good friend Jack Vincent, he also works in darts and plays darts, but yours is a slightly different avenue.
I mean, obviously he works for Target, so he's very happy there from what I gather. So I'm sure they look after him. They look after me as a player, so I'm sure they will as a colleague and a worker. So I'm sure he's a.
So what would you say is your best moment as a player here?
In this actual building, it's got to be my 9-darter. Obviously, I didn't quite get out that group annoyingly, but yeah, that's got to be tough at the moment.
And then working here as a spotter, what were the moments where you just have to sit back and go, that was incredible?
Yeah, there's been a few moments where you're watching it, like when people hit 9-darters, for example, and you're the one spotting it, it's a bit like, okay, that's pretty cool. You know, it's like sort of, you see what happens behind the scenes to make it actually happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you get people going fancy checkouts and you get the right shot and you're on the right camera at the right time, it looks really good. But obviously,
no Scott Taylor.
yeah, it's a difficult one sometimes.
And when they're on that 9-darter, do you have that hesitation of will it be treble 19 or will it be treble 15? Or do you know?
Generally, you know. Obviously, it helps when you know the player.
Yeah.
But like Andreas Harrison, for example, he hit one quite recently. It was treble 15, and it's like you instinctively will go treble 19, but then you're like, no, know the player. He's 15, and it's like you have to make those split-second decisions sometimes. And with Harrison, luckily we get it right, but. Yeah, sometimes it's like, oh God, no. Oh, it's like, you're sitting there hoping that you get it right, and also like judging from what you know and your experiences, and like sort of trying to remember what they've done previously. Like, I'm convinced he goes that way, and then they throw it completely in another direction. It's like, well, that's no good to anyone. But
But I won't keep you any long. You've got a busy night ahead of you, and thank you very much for your time.
no problem at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there we go, a first part of 2 there at the MODUS Super Series. I just want to say thank you very much to MODUS for an amazing opportunity to see the arena, get onto the stage and speak to the people behind the magic. But moving on from there, they've got many events, as we said earlier, in October, but there is a few more out on the open road.
Time to go on the open road with NAPA Auto Parts.
As we said, there is lots of events coming over the next few months, so let's get on the open road with NAPA Auto Stores.
First up, Saturday the 5th of October, it is the Icon Darts event, October Grand Slam. This is held at Q's Bar. There is also a new plate competition as well, so the top 2 go through to the main knockout, the bottom 4 go through to the plate, and as an extra Brucey bonus, there is also a £300 mystery checkout. All prizes to be won on the day. That is at Q's Bar in Blackpool. If pairs is your thing, at the Potters Bar, there is a Potters Pairs tournament, and that is at Potters Snooker Club in Swadlincote, and that is DE119DD. Contact Tom Worthington with the contact details there below. Early rounds is best of 5 singles and doubles, quarterfinals 4 singles, 1 double. That is on the 19th of October. Next up, on the 27th of October, there is a Junior Darts Knockout, and this is at the Arena in Crewe. Entries are only £3, and the playing format is dependent on entries. Under 18s only, must be accompanied by an adult. That is at the Arena in Crewe. Friday the 18th of October, there is a competition that is £500 to the winner. Entry fee is only £10. Contact details on the poster: Richard Liggins and Jamie Carter. In December, it is the Birmingham Darts Festival on Saturday the 7th of December and Sunday the 8th of December. £20 entry for both of these events, with £1,100 going to the winner of each event in the men's comp and £530 going to the winners of the ladies competitions. If playing is not your thing and you just like watching the best do what they do, on 5th of October it is a night at the darts in Skegness. There will be 2023 match play champion Nathan Aspinall, 2023 world champion Michael Smith, with the African warrior Devon Peterson, Super Chin Darryl Gurner, and old Stoveface himself John Lowe. Tickets are available through MODUS. Moving on to the 1st of November is the Face Off 2024, and this is at Roller World in Derby. Tickets are available at mdaevents.co.uk and Dartshop TV. Then the 2nd of November, it is a Night of Champions, and this is at the Northampton County Cricket Ground. Again, tickets available through dartshop.tv.
So there you go, guys. Plenty of events for you to tackle on the open road. And that is it for this show. I'm your host, J Urmston Toft, and I will see you in the next round.